Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a very controversial topic. This is not very controversial for some of you, but I'm returning my Gibson Falcon 20 and I want to go ahead and talk about that. But before I get into that, I would like to welcome all my new subscribers, all of you who are watching my videos. Thank you so much because the support is very encouraging. It really makes me want to keep releasing videos about the things that I love, which is guitar, amps, gear, music. Awesome. You know, I love that I'm able to make this content and that you guys give your opinion, whether you agree with me or not. That's totally fine because we're very accepting of all opinions here. You know, it's just cool that I get to interact with you guys in this sort of way. It makes it really fun for me. And I really would love to continue if you guys keep supporting me. So, yes, welcome new subscribers, welcome new viewers. It's great to have you, and I hope you stick around. So I am going to return my Gibson Falcon 20 right off the bat. I know what y'all are thinking. It wasn't all the comments that I received on my last video that made me want to return the amp. As a matter of fact, I'm well aware of what seems to be the handicap of this amp now, which is the way that it was constructed. And for some, even the price point. None of those are actually what are the reasons for me wanting to return the amp. As a matter of fact, the reason why I want to return the amp is because I really love the way it sounds, but it just so happens that my vintage 1967 Princeton Reverb, it does the sound, it sounds very close. And not 100% close because, of course, the Gibson Falcon 20 has a 12-inch speaker and it's slightly bigger cabinet. But for me, it just feels like they're a little similar. And I don't see why I should own an amp that I don't already have, right? But sonically, it's close. The only thing about the Gibson Falcon 20 is that the bass is a little tamer. Fender amps tend to have a little bit more bass. But it just so happens that I'm a big fan of that bass sound. And I feel like the Princeton, it does it for me. I don't really need the Gibson Falcon 20. I bought it because I just felt like, I want to be able to turn it up, which is the other thing too. I can't turn this amp up no matter how low I put that attenuation setting. And I don't really get opportunities living in an apartment to turn it up. And I know some of you will say, why not go for the Gibson Falcon 5? Well, I have my Vox AC4 handwired, and I feel like that's kind of doing it for me, the small amp thing. So right off the bat, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's made bad. That is not really what is pushing me to get rid of this amp. It is the fact that I have all of my sonically, whatever it is, sounds. Like I got my sounds, that I really like. And the Gibson Falcon 20 is not really what I actually need. It took me some time to, I guess, figure that out. But after trying it out, after doing some recordings with it, it just made me realize that it's not really fitting in with what I want. Great sounding amp. Some of you may really love it if you try it out and play it. I still highly recommend it, purely sonically speaking. Now, I wanted to read some of the comments that you guys left on my last video, which I will put on the screens, the one that I want to highlight. So here is something. Let's see if I can find a comment right real quick. Okay, so I found this comment, and I'm going to block out the usernames because, I respect you guys' privacy. You're welcome to go find that comment in the video. But here's one person saying, thanks for showing us the inside of a $299 amp. So I don't agree with this. Like, I know some of y'all are just being sarcastic. I see another one that says it's a $500 amp max. Let's be real here. It's not a $299 amp, and it's not a $500 amp either. I know that it's expensive, and I know that the fact that it's Gibson is probably adding to the price, but you have to think about the fact that a company has to mass produce something and needs to pay its workers and needs to source the material, pay the person that is getting the material for them. There's a lot that goes into it that I feel like people don't tend to really think about when it comes to manufacturing something and getting it mass produced for everybody. I feel like my opinion that it probably is a little more expensive, and I would say by just a couple $100 because it is Gibson. I know this is like an $1,800 amp. I would say maybe it's probably more, the Gibson brand is probably adding an additional $400. So like a $1,400 amp or even a $1,200 amp, I would think is reasonable if you don't take into the account that it is a Gibson amp and what that means, that it's also made in the USA. So I think I think those comments that people are leaving are a little entertaining, but let's be real. This is not a $299 amp. And I doubt that you would be able to make this amp on your own, even if you source out the parts, for $299. The cab itself, you would probably pay $200 for. I get it. I get what people are trying to say, that it's just overly expensive. I understand. And let's see. Here's another one that says, why is it garbage? Is it because the guitarologist hated it? I would not spend $2,000 for the amp because I can put together what I want for much less money. It sounds good and that's what counts. Now, I thank you, the guitarologist, for sharing my video and bringing some of you over here to, give your opinion and comment on the video. Some of you even subscribe, so thank you. I really appreciate the support. I do notice something. It seems that like people are kind of just hating it because everybody else is hating it. Here's what I believe. I believe you should test out an amp on your own, form your own opinion. If you want to open up the amp, look at it for yourself and just physically touch it, see it, and determine whether you think that it's good enough for you. I think that's what everybody should do. I don't think that everybody should just go off of one person's opinion. I think opinions should help you form your own, maybe lead you into the right direction, but I think you should try it out for yourself. If not all guitar stores, Sweetwater, Guitar Center, and your local mom and pop shop, I'm sure they have a return policy. I would say if you got the money, buy the amp, open it up for yourself, look at it, just grab it. The physical, like actually owning the amp, actually looking at it in front of you, taking it apart, and playing it, hearing it. I think those are very important factors that really come into play that I think people should not discount when it comes to the experience of owning an amp. It's just, I don't see why, I don't know. I get people that are upset, but I think I went out and tried the amp. I bought it. I opened it up, I formed my own opinion on it. And I know so many of you don't agree with me on me enjoying this amp, but that's my opinion. And at the end of the day, I really encourage people to have their own opinion. So let's see. Somebody was like, I always find it funny. Nobody reads the comments before they leave a comment. They all say the same things. It is funny, but it's okay. I think it's okay. Oh, here's something. Somebody said, perhaps the Falcon 20 instruction manual states dual is because it can run on 6v6 or 6L6s. I see the stencil in the back say 6v6 or 6L6s can be run. Now, that may be true, but to me, I got the impression that this meant that there is going to be a dual Falcon, like dual speakers. Let me know what you guys think. I think that they will, or maybe they thought about it, coming out with a dual Falcon. Yeah. Now, I can't seem to find the comment, but I swear I read a comment where somebody said that you could get like a vintage one and it would be better, it would cost less. And now that may be true, but if you think about it, there are some things that this amp has that a vintage one doesn't. And the attenuator is one of them. It has a 5-year warranty. I think that is a thing people tend to forget. They're guaranteeing this amp for 5 years for you. And I get it. An amp this expensive, you would think 5 years is not long enough. I need more time. This is an amp that I intend to keep for the long run. But, another thing I would want people to keep in mind is that not very often that the modern day guitarist owns an amp for longer than a year or two before trading it out for something else. That is something that should be considered, I guess. But in reality, I understand a hand wired is better, and they're very interesting. It's very interesting that they said this was hand wired because by definition, it is hand wired, but it's not the hand wired that people think. And I think Gibson, they're hilarious for not really being very super transparent about that because when the Vox AC hand wired series came out, they were very transparent. I think they even showed photos that it's a hand wired amp. You're paying for hand wired, and like everything you could see was hand wired. Now I think with the Gibson, what they did was that they hand wired some of the components, like the pots. Okay, you think that they would have just set, I don't know. I think that was very tricky on their part. They're technically not wrong. It is hand wired, but it is not the hand wired that people think. But again, if you want a vintage Gibson Falcon, that is still there. I don't know if the prices will skyrocket, but the modern Gibson Falcon has an attenuator. I think it has reverb and tremolo, and I don't know if the other ones do, at least like the vintage ones that this is supposed to resemble. There are some modern features in this that I think they added that you don't get in a vintage Falcon. So yeah, something to keep in mind. All right, another cool thing I want to talk about, since I have a little bit of time, is did you guys see that Vox are announcing a new line of hand-wired amps? I have the website pulled up. The one that I am eyeing is the AC10 hand-wired. There is absolutely no information out about the specs, like the size of the cabinet. It is a 12-inch speaker. It has reverb. Now, let me see if I can kind of scroll down here. I'll pull up this on the screen here. You can see that it has a high, a low input, volume, treble, bass, awesome. Top boost channel, great. A reverb, awesome. Because let me tell y'all something. And it's a spring reverb too. Let me tell y'all something. I love my AC4 hand-wired. I really do. I feel like it would have been perfect if they could have just fit a spring reverb in there. Would have been awesome. But I think that they're doing that now because I noticed in the AC4 hand-wired, they are doing this. Also in the AC10 and of course in the 15 and so forth. The AC10 that they're making right now, which is the mass-produced one, is a digital reverb. And it's okay. I played it before. But I'm really intrigued about the AC10 hand-wired that's supposed to be, all of these are supposed to be announced in the summer, and it looks so cool, and it's hand-wired, and I just wonder how much is it going to cost. Are they going to pull a Gibson? Are they going to say it's hand-wired, but it's not hand-wired like most people are used to? Are they going to, I don't know. I'm really intrigued. I have my eye on this amp, and I would love to own one when the time comes. It's unfortunate that I can't own the Falcon 20. Vox, in my opinion, offers a sonically different sound that I love to own. I already have my AC4 hand-wired, and I'm not intending on getting rid of it unless I try one of these, like the AC10 hand-wired, and it's like the right size, and if it ticks all the boxes, I'm getting rid of my AC4 hand-wired and getting the AC10 because it has a master volume. I can turn it down. And it just looks so cool. And it's hand-wired like they're saying. They try to emulate like a vintage one. So this is supposed to be like the other alternative option, right? Like if you don't own a vintage Vox, here's one right here. It may not be, it's as close as possible according to the website. So it has a G12M greenback speaker. I don't really have an opinion about that. But there are some clips that they're put up on SoundCloud. I haven't heard them yet. To be honest, I'm just excited to try it in person and see if I like it because I would love to make a video out of it. I would love to open this amp too. I would love to really, do the same thing I did with the Gibson Falcon 20, but do it with the Vox. I love Vox amps and I love Fender amps. And if they do this one right, and I mean, if it's at like a premium high, over $2,000 price, I'm going to have to seriously think about it because that's expensive. The Falcon was under $2,000 and this already, me returning it is going to help me out. It's not like I couldn't afford it, but I don't know. If I'm going to spend that much money, it needs to be for something that I'm going to keep, right? But yes. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Do you like this format? Because I kind of like talking, about stuff. And I got to figure out a better way to record this. So yeah, I like doing this. I like responding to your comments in a video. I love talking about new news, about gear. I know this Vox thing was announced for some time now, but there's very little talk that I'm hearing about it. So I'm intrigued. And yes, thank you so much for watching my video. Welcome to my new subscribers and welcome to all of you who are tuning in. Thank you so much. The support means a lot. I don't really like asking for people to subscribe to my channel because you guys subscribe. There's no point in telling you guys to do that. If you enjoy the content, then you stick around. And yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not going to ask anything of you guys. If you appreciate it, thank you so much. If you guys want to listen to some of my music, I do always leave some links in the description where you can listen to my original music, which I am going to talk about that in the near future because I'm working on something. So stay tuned for that. But again, thank you all so much. See you in the next one.